Welcome to my LinkedIn Live for Ackah Business Immigration Law. Today we are talking about how to convert your working holiday work permit to a permanent resident status in Canada. This is something that we deal with on a regular basis. People call us all the time who have entered Canada on a working holiday or young professional work permit under the international experience class category based on the countries that we have agreements with, like the UK and Ireland and Scotland and France and Australia, New Zealand, etc. And they're here now under a 1 year or 2 year work permit, and they love it and they want to stay. And then what do they need to do? This becomes a real challenge because you want them to be able to make a plan as early as possible. So if you call us and you only have 1 month left on your work permit, there's very little we can do in such a short time. So if you're here under a working holiday program and you want to talk about your options, please contact us so we can help you make a plan and develop a strategy so you can apply for permanent residence. Generally speaking, when people get here and they're happy after 12 months of work, they may be able to apply for Canadian Experience Class work permit, which is the work permit for people who have worked in a skilled job for 12 months for a Canadian employer. And that's a federal program. And if they have enough points based on age, which they definitely will have good points, usually you're under 30 or under 35, and education, so that's one of the requirements, and they have work experience, they may be eligible to get enough points that will allow them to apply for permanent residence. So it's really important, if you have a 2-year working holiday program, that you start the application right after your 12 months are up, or even get started before, because you have to do the World Education Services assessment of your education, as well as a language test. Those are minimum requirements to create your federal portal under Canadian Experience Class. The other option would be if you're in a province that has a provincial nominee program of some sort and you qualify because you have a working holiday program, work permit, and you're working for an employer in that province that meets the criteria for the employer's criteria, then you also have that option. Again, you need to give yourself at least a year, because for the most provinces under these programs, you must have a valid work permit. So you cannot leave it until you're a month or 2 months and then apply. For instance, in Alberta, you need to have a valid work permit and an employer while you're doing this process. So those are the two main options for people who have working holiday. Another option for people with the working holiday is to ask if your employer that you're happy with and that's happy with you is willing to do the labor market impact assessment for you. That's the temporary foreign worker program, which would build you another 2 to 3 years of work permit status, so you're not freaking out about, oh my God, my working holiday is expiring. And then you can start the the permanent residence process, knowing that you also have an extra 50 points to 200 points, depending on your seniority. Usually it's 50, to add towards your Canadian Experience Class. And that also gives you some stability and gives you extra points. So those are the three main options. If you have a working holiday or a young professional work permit and you want to stay in Canada, your options are an employer-sponsored LMIA for a further term. You apply for permanent residence under Canadian Experience Class or a provincial nominee program. Or, of course, another option is to look at maybe going to school as another way to stay in Canada. So I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions at all about this LinkedIn Live, or the questions for if you have employees that are working holiday employees or young professional employees and you'd like to learn more about how you can keep them in Canada, please do give me a call at Ackah Business Immigration Law. We'd love to help you keep your great employee. Take care. Bye-bye.